Tonight, Kenya finds itself at the heart of Sudan's escalating power struggle. The Rapid Support Forces, RSF, one of the warring factions in Sudan's brutal conflict, is set to announce a parallel government on Kenyan soil. This move puts President William Ruto's administration in the diplomatic spotlight, raising critical questions about Kenya's foreign policy, regional stability, and its role in Sudan's deepening crisis, as Michelle Ngele Odhiambo now reports.
Members of the Sudanese Rapid Support Forces gathered in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, making bold declarations about their political future. Led by General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, commonly known as Hemedi, the RSF has been locked in a fierce battle with Sudan's military-led government. But today's events signal a new and controversial chapter in the crisis, an attempt to establish a parallel government from exile.
I'd like to thank Kenya for hosting and facilitating this gathering.
Have a draft constitution for Sudan, which we have a transitional government for all the people who have founded this entity.
While Sudan's war has raged on for nearly a year, leaving thousands dead and millions displaced, this announcement brings the conflict to Kenya's diplomatic doorstep. With Nairobi playing host to peace negotiations under the IGAD framework, the optics of RSF making such a declaration on Kenyan soil raise serious questions.
It's quite unfortunate that the country, which especially now has the chairmanship of the ESC, is actually taking sides. It's appearing to be taking sides by allowing the RSF to come and, sign its charter for a government right here in Nairobi. And, the expectation is our president should be neutral. He should have listened to both sides, the RSF and the Sudanese army. And then if they have to come up with an idea of a government, it should be all-inclusive.
For months, Sudan's military-aligned government has accused Kenya of siding with the RSF.
It's very difficult to understand the motivation of our president in siding with the RSF, given that especially after a few countries around the world and led by the United States decided to sanction the leader of RSF. So that puts our president and our nation at loggerheads with the West for no reason whatsoever.
East African nations have largely been divided on Sudan's war. If Kenya is perceived as a direct supporter of the RSF, it could complicate regional relations and even affect its standing in the African Union and IGAD-led peace efforts.
In the short term, of course, we'll have outbursts. The army will come out and make a lot of noise because they've also actually declared the intention to form a government. And they've been gaining. As we speak now, they've taken control of the capital of Sudan. The only place I think they've not captured is the presidential palace. They've gotten most of the land, most of the space that had been taken by the RSF. So which basically means the RSF might be doing a job in futility as they attempt to form a government. Whoever is advising the president, I think is getting it wrong.
The RSF is preparing to make what could be a defining political statement, not just for Sudan, but for Kenya's role in the crisis. For now, the message from RSF is clear. They are not backing down, and they are making that declaration from the heart of Nairobi. Michelle Ngele Odhiambo, NTV.